We have done plenty of things that are not physically taxing with her, but even the small stuff she ends up on a bench for half the day. We went to a small mall and spent half the day on the bench. It was window shopping. She is obese. Her ankles are swollen from her weight. The connection between her weight and not walking far without a break is very obvious. Post, I will try to keep this short. I have 3 girls and we still like to do girl trips for the day. My son got married to a girl named Beth. Now, before her first kid, she was average weight, and after it got a lot worse. Her only kid is 8 years old at this point, and she hasn't lost the weight. It's bad enough that she needs constant breaks while walking. I used to like her, and now I don't due to how she acts. Everywhere we go with her, it is constant complaining that she is tired. The last girl's trip to the mall was spent sitting on a bench for half the day since she needed constant breaks. If you try to leave, she will go on about abandoning her. It's annoying. I invited the girls to go to a farm for a pumpkin patch and pick some apples. It has big orchards and a ton of walking. We went and it was a great time, and some pictures went on Facebook. I got a call from Beth asking why she wasn't invited. I lied, saying it was just a family trip, and she accused me of lying. I had enough and told her the truth. I told her she wasn't invited due to her weight, that she forces us to stop all the time and it ruins the trips most days since we don't get to do half the stuff. She called me a jerk and hung up. I am getting texts from my son saying to apologise, but the girls are on my side and are sick of having trips ruined since we have to wait for her all the time. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I'm going to say that you are mostly not the idiot. It sounds like she does slow you down, and that is a problem for the activity you were doing. It sounds like you were looking forward to doing everything and weren't willing to give any of it up. Also, she pushed you for an answer and you gave it to her. But you didn't not invite her because of her weight. It was because of her capabilities. I'm a large woman and I can walk circles around people half my size. I hike trails, I run 5Ks, I work on my feet all day, and a pumpkin patch with an apple-picking orchard would not require me to sit through most of the day. I know a lot of other large people who are similarly motivated. My recommendation is that the next time she wants to come with you on a trip that requires more walking than she can handle, let her come. But don't stop for her. If she starts complaining, tell her that she can take a break if she wants, and you will meet back up with her. But you're not tired, and you are going to do X. Tell her that it's okay for her to take a break every time she starts complaining. She'll either take a break by herself or decide she doesn't want to do these types of activities with you, or possibly start working on her stamina so she can keep up. Comment 2. So I recently lost 60 pounds, 40 more to go, and not the idiot, I can't tell you how many places I couldn't go to, how much walking I could do before I allowed my weight gain that I could no longer do. I could see how it affected things and friends, and I got so mad at myself. I was embarrassed and disgusted. I had heart failure. I had pulmonary issues. I got off my butt and did something. Now I'm bench pressing 50 pounds for now. I ran a 5K over the weekend, first in 3 years, and I bike 4 times a week if I can. Sorry, but not the idiot. I get having kids makes things harder. But she is the first to go through this, and she won't be the last. I got help. I swallowed my pride like a good little fat girl and got help. Maybe this will be her wake-up call. Comment 3. Personally, I would be extremely annoyed with anyone who asked why they were not invited when I just wanted to do something special with my daughters. And amp, then accused me of lying. Nope, I can understand your response, not the idiot. Beth pushed too hard, so you pushed back. That's on Beth. Beth was trying to guilt you. ETA, about the lying. If you boldly ask someone why you were not invited to go apple picking or any place else in the world, chances are very good that it's not going to be for magical and amp. Wonderful reasons. The honest answer will always be because we did not want to include you. Best not to ask the question or push too far. Just accept the kind answer. Now for the update. Fast forward 6 months and I'm happy to report a significant change in our family dynamic. Beth, after our confrontation, decided to take matters into her own hands and started a weight loss journey. Now, before anyone thinks I'm endorsing or celebrating weight loss as some sort of a miracle cure for everything, I want to clarify that I'm not. The real crux of the matter is that Beth took this as a wake-up call. She realized that her lifestyle was not only affecting her health, but also her relationships. She decided to do something about it, and we, as her family, supported her every step of the way, even though it was her who took the initiative. Beth started with small steps, adding short walks around the block to her daily routine and gradually increased the distance. She also started seeing a nutritionist to help with her diet. Slowly but surely the pounds started to come off, and with it, her mobility improved significantly. But the most significant change, in my opinion, isn't the physical transformation, but the shift in her attitude. Gone was the constant complaining during outings, and in came a more positive and determined Beth, who was eager to participate in family activities. I remember a few months into her journey, we planned another apple-picking trip. This time we made sure to invite Beth. I was a little apprehensive, worried that it might remind her of our previous argument, but Beth surprised us all. She was enthusiastic, walking around the orchard, not once needing a break. It was a far cry from the Beth we knew from our past outings. My daughters too have noticed the change and are thrilled to have their sister-in-law participating actively in all our excursions now. They've even started working out with Beth, making it a fun family activity. Beth's husband, my son, is over the moon with her transformation. He's always been supportive and loving towards Beth, but now he's visibly relieved and super proud of his wife. Seeing them laugh and enjoy their time together during our family trips warms my heart. In retrospect, I realise our confrontation was harsh, but it led to a positive change. I did apologise to Beth for my insensitivity, but she thanked me for being the catalyst for her change. We are in a better place now, and I have a newfound admiration for Beth. She's come a long way, but Beth insists it's just the start of her journey. We're all rooting for her, and I can't wait to see where her determination and positive attitude take her next. So folks, that's our little happy update. Never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad that argument happened. It has brought us closer as a family and has led to a much healthier and happier Beth. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. It's clear that you had only the best intentions for Beth, and your confrontation was likely the catalyst she needed to kickstart her weight loss journey. However, it's important to remember that the decision to change is ultimately in her hands, and it's wonderful to see that she took the initiative to improve her health and lifestyle. Your support, along with the rest of the family's encouragement, seems to have had a positive impact on her journey. It's also commendable that you apologised for the confrontation, indicating a respect for her feelings and acknowledging the sensitivity of the issue. Good on you for fostering such an uplifting and supportive environment for Beth. Comment 2. Everyone sucks here. While your intentions were good and Beth's weight loss journey has had a positive outcome, it's important to consider the potential negative effects such a confrontation could have had. Weight is a sensitive topic, and confronting someone about it can lead to feelings of shame and embarrassment. Thankfully, Beth used the situation as motivation, but it could have easily gone the other way. In the future, it might be better to approach such topics with a bit more sensitivity. Also, it appears you've used this situation to take some credit for Beth's achievements. While your confrontation may have acted as a catalyst, the hard work and determination has been all hers. Comment 3. You're the idiot. It's great that Beth has made positive changes in her life, and that's something to be celebrated. However, it seems like you're overshadowing her achievements by focusing on the role you played in the confrontation. It's important to remember that Beth's weight loss journey is her own, and while family support is crucial, it's her determination and hard work that have led to her success. It's also concerning that you felt the need to confront Beth about her weight in the first place. Discussions about body weight can be triggering, and it's not your place to push someone into making changes they may not be ready for. It's crucial to approach these conversations with respect and understanding rather than confrontation. Now for the next story. I'm 16-year-old, a younger sister to Laurie, 26-year-old female. Me and Laurie have never been close since we had different dads. I was an affair baby. She's always resented me for ruining her family, but whatever. Laurie has 6 kids. Yes, 6. Twin boys Beck and Joe, who are 7, planned. A girl Liliana, who's 6, unplanned. Another girl, Angel, who's 5. Is planned. Another boy, Keith, who's 2, planned. And another baby boy, Carl, who's 9 months, not planned. Despite the fact that Laurie is incapable of taking care of these kids, 4 of them were actually planned. Because she knows my pushover mum will give her money and watch the kids. My mum even quit her job to do so, even turning her workroom into a nursery for Carl. We're pretty well off, but we can't do this forever. I try not to judge and just ignore Laurie like she does me. Even though when my mum is busy doing something like changing a diaper, I have to step in and help, especially with the twins since they're very rough with each other. Tonight at dinner, Laurie's boyfriend joined, a father to just Carl, as well as Laurie's father. This wasn't abnormal, so I didn't think anything of it until my sister said she had some exciting news. I wished she'd say something else, but I knew what she was going to say. "I'm pregnant," she would say. Everyone went dead silent until I said, "Bruh." I didn't mean to say it out loud, but come on. Laurie gave me a death stare and said if I wanted to say something I should just say it, so I did. "Laurie, this is your—" I take a moment to count, 6th child. "You know we can't keep supporting you. Without Mum, you'd be on the streets, and you know that. Look at Mum, she's so tired. She's always taking care of your kids, and so am I. I'd bet I've changed more diapers than you have, you selfish witch." She began to cry and ran out into her boyfriend's car. He followed her and drove. My mother then began to cry. She left to go put Carl back to bed since he woke up. It was just me and Laurie's father. He began to yell and told me I was a brat and Laurie was a great mother. Then he stormed off. As I'm sitting here in the morning watching the boys, I'm thinking, was I too obnoxious? My mum says that a lot. I don't mean to be because of my autism, but come on, please give me some feedback, Reddit. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I can't give credit because it was from a random Reddit comment, but to misquote a wise random Redditor, it's a uterus, not a clown car. Not the idiot. You were blunt for sure, but at some point shoot needs to be said. She can't take care of her already present children. Bringing more of them in the world is completely insane, both for her, for your mum, for you, who end up heaping way too much for a 16 years old, and most importantly for those kids. Comment 2. Not the idiot at all. In my very own opinion, I think 6 children is freaking ludicrous and painfully unnecessary, given the world is already quite overpopulated. Also, your sister doesn't even appear to have custody of all these children. Why was Carl at your house and his mother and father both took off so easily? They don't seem like the best parents, even if it was socially acceptable to have so many cattle. Comment 3. Not the idiot. If it were me, I completely stop helping watch kids, but I can't stand when people pawn their kids off on family members. It really pisses me off since it happened to me as a kid. My parents decided to have more kids when I was 10, 14, and then again when I was 17. Guess when I moved out? At 17. Now for the update, so buckle up. Over the last 2 weeks, the dynamics in my family have taken a Hollywood-esque twist. After Laurie stormed out that night, she didn't return for 2 days. In fact, she left the kids with us without as much as a text. We were worried sick. But then she came home, without her boyfriend. They'd had a row and he'd kicked her out. Laurie was hysterical, not just because she'd been dumped, but because she'd found out she's not actually pregnant. Turns out the home pregnancy test she'd first used was a false positive, and a doctor's visit confirmed there was no baby. Meanwhile, I'd been getting close to the twins, trying to teach them better ways to play with each other that didn't involve WWE moves. Then one of the boys, Tommy, fell sick. He had a high fever and was really weak. We rushed him to the hospital where they diagnosed him with leukemia. It was heart-wrenching. While all this was happening, Laurie's father suddenly moved out. Turns out he'd been having an affair and had decided to leave our mother for his mistress. My mother was devastated, but somehow she found the strength to pull through for Tommy. After a long heart-to-heart, Laurie admitted she's struggling with her responsibilities. She'd been using pregnancy as a cry for help because she felt overwhelmed. I shared with her some advice from Reddit users, and we made a pact to get through this together. We're seeking therapy and looking into options like support groups and parenting classes. So in a span of 2 weeks, our family has completely turned upside down. But I'm hoping this is a turning point for us to start over and rebuild. This is life, I guess. Messy, unpredictable, but here's hoping it gets better from here. Now for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Honestly, your family is going through a lot right now, and it's commendable that you're trying to be the glue that holds everyone together. Despite the rocky circumstances, you're making an effort to improve relationships and get everyone on a path of healing. Tommy's diagnosis is unfortunate, and it's going to require a lot of strength and support from the family. Laurie's situation is also heartbreaking, but remember, it's not on you to fix everything. Encourage her to seek professional help to deal with her emotional turmoil. I hope your family finds the strength to navigate through these challenging times. Comment 2. Not the idiot. It's clear that you're trying your best to support everyone. However, it's important to remember that you can't pour from an empty cup. Make sure you're taking care of your own mental and emotional health amidst all this chaos. It's great that you're proactive about finding resources and seeking therapy for your family. It seems like your family is going through a period of great change and upheaval. This might be a good time to establish new, healthier patterns of communication and support within your family. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your family is definitely dealing with a lot right now. But remember, it's not solely your responsibility to mend all the broken pieces. It's crucial for each individual to also take responsibility for their own healing. It's great that you're helping out, but make sure to set boundaries and not overextend yourself. Also, it's great that your family is open to seeking therapy and other resources. This willingness to accept help is a big step towards healing and rebuilding. Continue to encourage this openness, and remember to take care of yourself too. Now for the next story. My 32-year-old male wife, 30-year-old female, is concerned about our financial situation. I think her concern is misplaced, but I told her my income isn't going to change anytime soon. So I asked her what we wanted to do about it. She suggested that when my son, she is his stepmother, turns 18, we should start charging him rent. I immediately shut down that idea and told her we would have to think of something else because there's no way I'm charging my son to live in our house. She said it was reasonable since I was paying most of his college tuition, but I told her there are alternatives. I suggested we stop eating out so much because it's $50 to $100 per meal, but she didn't like that idea. I suggested other things which she rejected, so I told her I'm open to suggestions, but my son isn't going to be our source of income. She told me I should think more of her than my son. That made me a little mad, so I told her my son will always come before her. She called me a jerk after that and hasn't talked to me since. Did I overstep? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I may get a lot of hate for this, who knows, but here are my thoughts. Kids don't ask to be put in this world, completely out of their hands. To add to that, they get no say in what kind of household they're entering. While countries have their own ways of legalizing social movements and parental decision-making, we can all agree that it comes down to parents, unless it breaches the irregular, legal, social constructs put in place. With that said, when you choose to have kids, just because one turns 18 doesn't mean you can kick them out, have them carry the load that should be ascribed to the parents, etc. To add to that, when you choose to have kids, your priority should be the family unit, not just singular members, and so I would be on the view that investing in your kids would not only set them up for the future, but in return, while you may not expect it at all, your kids would take care of you. As someone who has parents, I acknowledge the investments and sacrifices my parents made for me, and I prioritize taking care of them even more if it's within my means. So the simple idea of giving up meals out seems like a no-brainer to give your kid a leg up. I'd even argue that there's an even greater emphasis on setting them up sooner than later, given the current financial, socio-political, and everything else climate. The idea of making your own way is very difficult for younger generations. They were handed a pretty STI hand. I commend you for your position, not the idiot. Your wife, however, needs to do some soul-searching as to the kind of parent she wants to be. Comment 2, not the idiot. So your unemployed wife is raising hackles at your barely legal son, who is somehow supposed to hold down a job and study full-time so she can continue to afford to eat out. Really? If you're short on money, there are two options. Cut down on expenses, or the unemployed partner finds a job. Your son has a job, he's studying. Comment 3, not the idiot. I'd be suspicious of any parent who thought of others before they thought of their children, even a spouse. It's great that you are able and willing to support your son. Contrary, your wife sucks for rather having an 18-year-old student pay rent than skipping some restaurant visits. Now for the update. Well, a lot has happened over the past month since my last post, and it's been tough. My son turned 18 last week, and as a birthday gift, his mother, my wife, presented him with a rental agreement. Yep, you read it right. A formal, legally binding rental agreement. I was absolutely blindsided by it. I didn't think she'd go that far. The look of confusion on my son's face is something I'll never forget. It was heartbreaking. I tried to smooth things over, told my son she was just having a tough day, and assured him he wouldn't have to sign. But my wife was unyielding. It led to a major argument, after which my wife asked me to leave the house. She said she needed space to think. I've been staying at a motel. I can't bear to stay at my parents' old home. Too many memories. Despite everything, I've still been going to work, trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy and hoping that my wife would come around. I've tried reaching out to her. I've sent her countless messages and made multiple attempts to sit down and talk about our issues, but she refuses. She's stopped taking my calls and even blocked me on all social media platforms. My only form of communication with my son is through text message. He tells me he's fine, that he's holding up okay, but I know my boy. He's not okay. The worst part of all this is that he's started working late-night shifts at a local grocery store. He says he's trying to save up for college, but I know he's doing it to help pay the rent. It breaks my heart. I feel like this situation has spiraled out of control so quickly, and I'm not sure how to fix it. Prioritizing my son's well-being over my wife's desire for financial security has seemingly cost me my marriage, and it's affecting my son more than he lets on. It's a mess, and I have no idea where to go from here. I completely underestimated the gravity of our financial stress and how it could affect my family. But I still stand by what I said. My son is not a source of income. Looking back, I wish we could have found a better compromise. This isn't the life I wanted for my son or my wife. It's tough, it really is. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your wife is completely out of line to present a rental agreement as a birthday gift to your son. This was not a well-thought-out decision, and it seems like it was more to serve her interests than to actually help your son. The fact that your son has started working late-night shifts just to meet these new financial obligations is a clear indication of how much this is affecting him emotionally and physically. It's not healthy for him to be under such stress, especially at his age. While it's important to teach kids about financial responsibility, there are better ways to do it. Your wife's refusal to communicate is also problematic. It's important for partners to be able to discuss and resolve issues together, even more so when it involves the well-being of your child. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Financial stress can be a burden on any family, and it's understandable that your wife was concerned about this. However, her approach was inappropriate, and it seems like she has not considered the emotional impact this would have on your son. It's one thing to have your child contribute to household expenses, but it's another to essentially make him work late-night shifts just to be able to afford to live in his own home. Furthermore, her ignoring your attempts to communicate shows a lack of respect and commitment to resolving the issue. You're not in the wrong for prioritizing your son's well-being. It's important to balance financial security with the emotional health of the family. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's clear that you're trying to hold your family together in a difficult situation. Your wife's decision to give your son a rental agreement for his birthday is not only insensitive, but also seems to have been done without proper discussion with you. The fact that she asked you to leave the house over a disagreement shows a lack of maturity and willingness to work through problems. It's concerning that your son has to work late nights just to make ends meet, which is clearly taking a toll on him emotionally. This could have long-term effects on his mental health. It's important to encourage independence in children, but it should be done gradually and not thrown at them all at once. Your regret about underestimating the impact of financial stress on the family is understandable, but it's important to remember that you're trying to do what's best for your son. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.